The current WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar has been one of the most controversial wrestlers in WWE history. In our previous video, we looked at his relationship with other WWE superstars, and it revealed there were a number of wrestlers who weren't a fan of the Beast incarnate, perhaps due to his behavior backstage and at times in front of a live audience as he failed to keep his cool. In this video, we look at 5 instances where he got angry for real in WWE. Number 1. Legitimately punching Braun Strowman at the 2018 Royal Rumble. The monster among men Braun Strowman was booked as a worthy challenger to Brock Lesnar. He defeated the likes of the Big Show on several occasions, managed to lift up a truck, and survived a week-long ride in the back of a garbage truck. But when facing Lesnar in a triple threat match at the 2018 Rumble for the Universal Championship, it proved that even monsters can run afoul of beasts. During the match, Strowman gave some pretty stiff knee shots to Lesnar's face. This irked the Beast incarnate, and immediately, Lesnar retaliated with a legit punch to the side of Braun Strowman's head. And after hitting him, he could also be heard saying, "Slow the f*** down." Strowman took the advice, as we're quite certain he didn't want to anger the Beast further. The Daily Star interviewed Braun Strowman and wanted his comments on the incident. Strowman commented, "We're two larger-than-life human beings trying to establish dominance, and people come to see a fight. That's what we gave them. It was definitely physical, but look at the buzz it created. You hit me, I hit you back, and Brock is the same way." At the end of the day, the fans were pretty happy and excited to see an exchange of blows. Not wanting to anger WWE officials, Strowman obviously gave a kayfabe answer, not really mentioning that he was being too stiff in the ring. Ironically, Lesnar is well known for working stiff, which may suggest he can dish it out, but he certainly can't take it. Number 2. After suffering a concussion at WrestleMania 19. The main feud heading into the 19th annual Showcase of the Immortals on SmackDown was the rivalry between Brock Lesnar and WWE Champion Kurt Angle. Lesnar, who won the Rumble that year, became number 1 contender for the gold. Lesnar was determined to win back the championship, but things went terribly wrong during the final moments of the match. After a hard-hitting 20-odd minutes, Lesnar attempted a shooting star press off the top of the turnbuckle, but misjudged the distance of the jump. Consequently, Lesnar landed on his head, and since Lesnar was dazed and confused, the finish to the match had to be improvised. Lesnar would win the match with an F5, but was diagnosed with a post-match concussion. Backstage, several WWE officials and EMTs were aiding Lesnar, but feeling too crowded and dazed, Lesnar snapped, yelling, "Get the fuck off me," before walking away. Brock told that due to his size, he didn't feel comfortable doing the move and was pushed into doing it, being told it would be a great quote-unquote WrestleMania moment. Names have dropped on who asked him to perform the move, and Brock mentioned John Laurinaitis as being the culprit in his autobiography. Jim Ross and Jim Cornette have also mentioned that they pushed Lesnar into doing it, but ultimately, it was WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle who took full responsibility, saying, "That was my idea. I will take responsibility for Brock doing that. At the time I had to leave WWE, it really wasn't in the plans for me to drop the title at WrestleMania. I had suffered a broken neck, and I was going to have surgery, so I wanted to do something that people would remember. I asked Brock to do the shooting star press, which he had done many times in OVW. I just thought it would be a great way to end the show." He went on to say, "Unfortunately, Brock came up short. I think I was a little too far away and Brock kinda double guessed before he went. If you ever watch the tape, you'll see he goes and then kinda stops. Then he says screw it. So that hesitation caused him to land on his head. But that was my call. I know that Brock didn't necessarily want to do it, but we did practice it earlier in the week and he was doing it perfectly well. He just got in a situation in the match where he kinda slipped a little bit and that was it." Number 3. After legitimately knocking out Randy Orton at the 2016 SummerSlam pay-per-view. During the summer of 2016, fans were eager to see the much-anticipated bout between the Apex Predator Randy Orton and the Beast incarnate at SummerSlam. However, the match ended in controversial fashion as Lesnar connected with some legitimate elbows to Orton's head, busting him wide open and the match ending by a technical knockout. In what is known as the PG era of WWE, fans were not accustomed to seeing such a shocking end to a match. As a result of the blows, Orton needed 10 stitches in the head. Many backstage were unaware that this was supposed to be the finish of the match, and thought Lesnar had totally gone off script. So much so that fellow wrestler Chris Jericho, who was concerned with Orton's health, went to find answers from WWE officials as to whether this spot was planned or not. He went around and asked WWE officials like Michael Hayes, but he got no answers. Still irate with what just happened, he confronted Lesnar backstage. Lesnar reportedly told Jericho to mind his own business, and with his hands behind his back, followed by saying, "Hit me or kiss me, bitch." The two were ready to fight each other for real until Triple H and Vince McMahon had to physically break the two up. Both assured Jericho that the finish to the match was planned and Lesnar didn't go off script. Still, kudos to Jericho for standing up to his friend, and this encounter really shows that Jericho isn't afraid of anyone, even someone twice his size. Being double-crossed. While this wasn't the first time Cena and Lesnar would clash in the ring, fans expected a brutal encounter when the two locked in the ring in an Extreme Rules match in 2012. After Lesnar dominated Cena for the most part of the match, Cena still prevailed after hitting an AA on a set of steel steps to keep Lesnar down for the 3 count. After the match, Cena gave a very sentimental speech. Backstage, however, Lesnar was upset with the booking of the match as he felt that WWE officials booked him to look weak and double-crossed him. The original finish to the match was reported by WrestlingInc.com. Brock Lesnar was very upset backstage after Sunday's Extreme Rules pay-per-view from the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. According to sources with knowledge of the situation, Lesnar felt he had been double-crossed with the promo by John Cena that closed the show. Lesnar was so upset he began throwing things before he could be consoled. In the tirade, Brock specifically berated Mark Carrano, who is the real-life assist of John Laurinaitis. Brock complained to Mark that the booking in the WWE was a disaster and allegedly accused Cena of trying to hurt him. The situation was so out of control, some accused Lesnar of acting in an attempt to show up the locker room in order to send the message that he could quit at any time. Apparently, Brock was told Cena would go over, but would be stretchered out of the building, preventing Lesnar from looking weak. When Cena decided to address the audience after the match, Lesnar threw a fit. This, however, wasn't the first tantrum that Lesnar had thrown backstage. As number 5, he threw the Universal Championship at Vince McMahon. After WrestleMania 34 aired and Brock Lesnar shockingly retained the WWE Universal Championship, as many thought he would drop it since rumours of him re-signing with UFC had surfaced, reports began to flood in of a real-life altercation between Vince McMahon and Lesnar backstage. Pro Wrestling Sheet's Ryan Satin reported, Pro Wrestling Sheet confirmed with multiple sources that Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon got in a real-life verbal altercation after WrestleMania 34. Details are still scarce, but we're told Lesnar was livid when he returned to the backstage gorilla position and went off on WWE chairman, who was not happy about it. Sources tell us the brief but heated incident ended with Brock throwing the Universal title belt. Some say at Vince, some say at the wall, then walking away. No word yet on what set him off. He also followed with, "We're told there's a belief that Brock may have gone off script a little bit near the end of the match, but we've been unable to confirm if this is true." The rumours were quickly forgotten about, as it couldn't have been too serious if Lesnar was still being placed at the forefront of major pay-per-views and regaining the title at the Crown Jewel event. However, immediately following the live showing of the 2019 Royal Rumble, WWE aired a special behind-the-scenes documentary of WrestleMania 34 as part of its WWE 24 series, and showed what went down. After his match with Roman Reigns, an exhausted Lesnar was seen coming backstage to gorilla position, where Vince and backstage producer The Road Dogg were sitting. Without any word, Lesnar threw the Universal title at Vince, with Vince audibly shouting out, "Asshole." It was also reported an angry Shane McMahon wanted to confront Lesnar about the incident, but Lesnar had flown back home immediately. It is believed that Lesnar was not happy with the reaction from the crowd and the match itself, but other than that, no other details have emerged as to why Brock threw the title. But since Lesnar received no sort of punishment and is still in WWE demanding serious money for his limited appearances and still holds the belt, it could be said that both he and Vince have moved on from the incident. It's crazy to think that legitimately throwing the title at your boss for no good reason had no repercussions, whilst a smile can. Crazy. But those were 5 times Brock Lesnar got angry for real in WWE. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.